Welcome to the 67th episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast.
So damn paranormal.
Ow!
Ow.
My name is Jason Knight, host of this animal farm. And with me today is...
Lexi something.
Mr. Lexi Raven.
And I'm Mrs. Oscar Spector.
How you guys doing?
Pretty great.
Doing
Pretty
all
great.
right.
Alexi's back.
I am back.
She's back from
She
work.
wasn't
Back in
here.
black.
She's back from work.
Lexi, what are you doing right now?
I'm playing Sims.
You're playing Sims while we're recording a podcast.
I am. That is true.
That is great. I'm glad we have your undivided.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
She'll let her face.
Not
bro.
a fuck given.
She'll let her face.
All out of fucks.
Yep.
Oscar, what are you up to, man? How was that wedding?
Oh,
Lit.
the Indiana,
dry wedding.
The dry wedding. We did speak about that here. Luckily, I don't think any of those people, hell, even my own friends, don't listen to this show. So
What? That's great. You should have them listen.
I fucking can't get them to listen to my show.
Oh, all right.
And some of them are part of that sometimes, and they still don't listen to it. Anyway, yeah, what the fuck, right? Anyway,
Yeah, what the fuck?
it was dry for sure. It was still dry. It wasn't like a
Yes.
joke.
It was dry.
It's not like we went there.
That's right.
and
Lexi was there.
Lexi came with me. We spent one of the very few things a couple's first. We spent a weekend together. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, although I was best man, so there was a good chunk of the wedding day itself, like before the ceremony started, where I was separated from her because I had to do work. I had to take the grooms to get his beard shaved, for example. We went out to set up the chairs, for example.
I was napping in the entire
I
time.
didn't know this, but
Sleeping ass.
yeah, she was. She was like, "Oh, wake me up later." Whatever the fuck. She didn't wake up till like 3 p.m. and
Oh,
I
my God.
had
It was like noon.
I had a
Did you
whole
have
day.
work the next day?
I had a whole
I
day.
did not.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I woke up at 8, like feeling like shit. And
Wow.
I got some coffee at Bailey's. I bought a bottle of Bailey's specifically for coffee that I would get and just pour that fucker in there.
Yeah, nice, nice.
It was great. I wasn't like toasty or even buzzed at all throughout the whole weekend, but I kept drinking here and there throughout the weekend, get myself nice and lubricated.
Okay.
Social lubricant. You never heard? Okay, I meant it that way.
Social lubricant. I have never heard that
Oh, wow.
phrase, but I like it.
Fine, I'll call it liquid courage. For you.
There you go.
How about
there
that?
you go. Any fights break out between the Polish or the Mexican?
No, I mean, we're friends.
Oh, good.
The only
Well,
Polish-
we were worried about that last
No.
episode.
Nope, not at all. Because what we had is that we had a cooler in the trunk of the Polish car.
I mean, that's how you do an Indiana wedding.
We had beer, we had whiskey, we had pop to mix it with. We had we had rum too, and we went down there periodically during the reception to refill our cans because we didn't want to bring the cups, because it looks.
So are you walking around the wedding with cans?
I would take a Coke can, drink a little bit of it,
Indiana.
pour
You too,
fucking rum
Lexi?
in there.
You got cans? She's shaking her head yes.
I
All right.
swirl it around and just take that upstairs. Hey, what's up, guys? Just drinking that pop.
Wow.
Yeah. And they only had water there, which is funny. Water.
They had the little packets of
Yeah.
like Kool-Aid. And
like Hawaiian punch.
Stop it right now.
I'm like, that's what that's what he wanted. I'm telling you.
But they had a taco bar,
They had
so
a
that
taco
made
bar.
up for just the water.
It was cool. The taco bar was cool.
Wow.
And of course, we spoke to the only Mexican that came to deliver the damn thing. That was funny. White people galore. It's a sea of white down there.
Indiana's very. It is certain parts.
and,
are very,
and the groom's wife's family were.
So groom Hispanic.
No, his mother is like Hispanic.
Okay.
But like,
So the groom is
But she was
Hispanic?
kind of raised white though, and he doesn't know a lick of anything like that, and
Okay.
he only knows of them more than he knows anything of their heritage. He didn't
Got it.
grow. The closest to Hispanic he is me, growing up with him. So
Okay.
just say that, okay?
All right.
Pretty white guy, and and the wedding was cool. I was really worried about the speech the whole time.
Oh, you gave a speech?
I'm the best man.
You didn't tell me you were going to do a speech.
No, I'm the best man.
Well, it's a
I
fucking dry
recorded the
wedding too,
entire
so I don't know.
thing.
I mean,
You think all the other traditions are out the window?
yeah. Thank you. Everything out the window.
No. That was.
like
I mean,
a
the rest.
free-for-all.
By the way, my favorite thing about it. By the way, this whole thing, ceremony, nice, crispy 29 minutes.
How long was ours?
I don't know,
Ours-
but it was
ours
longer than that.
long. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, about 3 days long.
I
That's how it felt.
recorded
Time.
your speech, honey.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
Show it to him.
I wonder if that should be outtakes.
No, that's awful.
Was it good?
I mean,
It was so sentimental and cute.
Oh,
it was funny. So obviously the maids of honor. There was two, by the way.
Oh my god,
A maid of
their
honor
speeches
and-
were so dramatic and over emotional.
you didn't like it, did you?
No,
Well,
they brought
one
up
of-
their dead husband.
One of the maid of honor, and then
Shit,
she's
dead husband.
and she's fucking mentally heckling her. At least it wasn't verbal.
Lexi's, at least my boyfriend's not dead. Oh my God.
Literally mentioned her dead husband during the speech, and the entire speech was, my dead husband would like to say these things to you, Alex, and then basically gave...
Motherfucker, you don't know what your dead husband wants to say.
I know, but that was the entire... She was
said it way
giving
nicer,
him,
obviously.
She was giving him pointers on how to treat his wife.
As if that's how the dead husband would treat the wife?
The critic in her, it sounded way different than this.
So she did this maid
That's
of
how I
honor. Did she
perceived
make
it.
the whole speech about herself? That's what it sounds like.
No, she mentioned Lindsay, but now that I can't think of any other bits, honestly, now that you asked that question.
Yeah.
No, that was the other girl that was talking about Lindsay.
Yeah.
The dead husband girl was mainly talking about her dead husband, how
No, she
basically
wasn't.
her speech was her dead husband talking.
Oh my God. And you had no alcohol for this whole thing.
I mean, my
No, we
co-pan
had
did.
alcohol in our
Okay,
hands.
good.
Oh, yeah,
don't
we
know
went
if I could-
downstairs.
I don't know what I would do. I would just boo that fool.
And I was like
So-
texting Oscar because I told him like a couple minutes. I'm like,
You
I
were
bet you-
texting during her dead husband speech?
Yeah, she
I was like,
texting me.
yo,
That's
these
horrible.
girls are gonna be super emotional. They're gonna have like these emotional, overreacting speeches. And the second she mentioned dead husband, I took out my phone. Like, I told you. And she was like choking up and crying.
There is a special hell for people like us, Lex.
There is. Yeah. That's okay. I'll
so,
be there with you guys.
Ralph was the co-best man, by the way. He went first. So the co-people went first.
And that's your
then-
brother.
So I was dead last. I was fourth speech. Can you imagine 4 speeches? I mean, they were
Wow.
short, granted. I mean, theirs were
The
longer
dead
than ours.
husband one was really long.
Maybe to you, Miss Critic of Speeches. I don't remember it being that long.
It was pretty long.
It's critic of speech.
Yeah, dude, she's...
All right. So what was
She put
yours
it in
about?
such a way that I forgot what it really was like.
Paraphrase what your speech was all about.
So, no, well, Roth and I knew that we had to make it jokey. If we can't do Santa Mana, we have to do
Well,
jokey.
after dead husband, you better lighten the mood.
Oh, I had to. And,
Jesus
and
Christ.
it's according to everyone after I did the speech, from strangers too, that everyone liked it a lot and they thought it was really funny. So I made some.
Very good.
I missed out because so I winged the whole thing and I write shit down. I had
Off the cuff.
off the cuff.
Whoa.
Like I do our show.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There you go. Okay.
Hey, but I come up with insight somehow, and it really comes out of nowhere.
You did good, babe.
Thank you. That's what they all say. I didn't believe them because I was so fucking self-critical of it the whole time,
Yeah.
and even after, and I
That's
still am.
because you were winging it.
Well, even if I wrote something down, I'd still be critical of it. So I brought up a piece of notebook paper and everything, and a pen, and I had it lying there in the hotel the whole time, blank, nothing on it. Didn't write shit the whole
Whoa.
time. And I knew about it for weeks, of course. And Roth, since the co-maid of honor went, Roth was hoping that she wouldn't go. That way he didn't have to go. But he ended up going, and he made a few jabs at me and at Alex, of course. That's what we're supposed to do, I guess. And then I went, and I think I killed it with 2 jokes, really much more than I thought I would get.
Good.
Some of them went right by people, though. Like 2 jokes went...
Did you hear crickets? And
No, I heard the people that get me laugh and
Yeah.
get it, but like the rest of the people who don't know me. So my joke, one of the ones that passed by them was, I said, like, to all those who know me, all 10% of you, because I literally didn't know anybody there.
Yeah.
And that was it. It's a simple joke. Nobody responded. So things like that.
I see.
But my 2 big jokes got through, and at the end I ended up with something sentimental about Alex finally, stepping up his game and being an adult and shit like that.
Oh yeah, that part was really heartwarming, babe.
And it wasn't meant
And
to
it
be.
wasn't
really
over the
heartwarming.
top, like dead husband heartwarming.
That's too heartwarming.
That's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's hot warming. That's heart-hotting.
That's just a hot mess.
That's Hawaiian lava flow warming.
Yeah.
No good.
No.
Good. Well, it sounds like you guys had fun. You had some beautiful pictures on Instagram. I
The sexy one?
I really enjoyed your photos.
The sexy
they were
one, yeah.
very nice, very tasteful.
Thank
They
you.
were but
You should see the pictures after that.
seductive. Oh, let me see your phones.
She had me keep my tux, the rented tux,
Yeah.
on
I made him keep
for
it on.
hours after because she wanted me to do things to me in the outfit, and
Oh.
we had to wait for so long for me to take. Meanwhile,
we-
my friends are like, "We took that shit out the minute we got in the hotel."
Because we went to like a little hotel
me.
party after the wedding, so
Yeah,
I made
yeah.
him keep the suit on.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. You crazy kids.
yeah.
But it's fine because he made me keep the dress on.
Well, this it makes sense, right? It's only fair.
It is fair.
More than
Well, it
fair.
sounds like you guys had an interesting, fun week.
Yeah, and Lafayette's not a bad place.
Weekend.
It's a college town. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
nice there.
It's more of a modern.
Pretty
It's
views.
definitely not the Indiana sinkhole I thought it would
We
be.
might have Indiana listeners. We love Indiana.
Well, I mean, I hate Illinois too, so don't worry. Peoria's a
have
piece of
anything-
shit. I mean,
Peoria is a piece of shit.
We might have Peoria listeners. We love Peoria.
Chicago's
No.
a piece of shit. I'm from Chicago.
We love Chicago.
No, we can't love everything.
love it all.
No, well, you
I
can
like
love whatever.
Arizona. I love Arizona.
Yeah, we know. To our
Yeah, we got
Arizona
that.
listeners, hey.
Hey.
It was my birthday this week.
Happy birthday.
If you guys care. Probably,
No,
probably don't. Thank you, Lexi.
42, right?
Nope, 41.
42
And it's one.
and a half.
It's pretty much one. So that happened. Oscar didn't
What'd you
call
do?
or text or anything.
Jesus, what
but
are you, my fucking
Yeah.
wife? What did you?
I spent the night in a hotel. I was on the road.
Oh, you were on the road?
I was on
That's
the
your
road for my
goddamn
birthday.
fault.
Yeah,
And you were sitting
but
there
they
waiting
did
for my
have
call?
a very nice dinner for me over the weekend.
I would hope so. Where'd you go?
Some friends and family. I don't remember the name.
I do fucking remember being invited to that.
Honestly,
oh, yeah, it was.
don't remember the name.
It was during the wedding, wasn't it?
It was in. It was on the wedding day.
Fine.
But it was fun. Friends came out, family came out. We drank, we ate. Kids were there. It was fun.
You
time.
don't remember what you ate? Were you blackout drunk?
No, not at all. I honestly don't remember. It was a country and western bar in Edison Park, a Chicago neighborhood. It was very strange, but good.
Sure, I believe you.
Good. They did it up right for me. I was really appreciative.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, your friends know how to take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. But,
No, you treat me like shit, but
But you still love me for
yeah,
it.
I
So
do
why
love you.
would I go
I
higher
do-
than
I
that?
love the abuse.
Why would I raise the bar now?
I love that abuse.
To give a mouse a fucking cookies and I want a glass of milk, I'm not gonna do that to
Give
you.
me some milk and cookies.
Give you a ruler to the hand.
Give me milk and cookies.
All right.
What else? Lexi,
Yeah,
do you have work at all anytime soon?
I work tomorrow.
You're so full of shit. You have work on Tuesday.
She is literally full of shit.
Actually, I work on Sunday.
You have like next Sunday. Like literally in 72 hours.
Yeah, but it's at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. on Tuesday.
3 p.m. on Sunday.
Which is still like 2 days from now, 3 days from now.
This is our thing. This is our
Still.
skit. Who's on first?
You shouldn't, like, stay up too late.
Exactly. Because she's got to get to work in 3 days.
Exactly.
Oscar,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I have some really exciting news.
Ooh.
Is this SOS related?
It is SOS related.
Something tells me I won't be that excited
That
then.
was a very jarring segue. But we do have exciting news.
Yeah.
We are finally on the iHeartRadio network.
You don't like radio.
I love iHeartRadio. And I love our iHeartRadio listeners.
Do you I heart emoji radio or do you I heart the word radio?
iHeartRadio.
Those
So
are
it's
answers.
it was actually a really long vetting process to get on iHeartRadio network.
I thought we were on it, honestly.
No, we were finally accepted a few weeks ago. So I just really wanted to say hello to our iHeartRadio listeners and welcome to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast.
And if you stumble onto this by accident, I am so sorry. Like, what's new?
No, being on iHeart it's a really big deal for podcasters. So that's a milestone for us. That's a good thing.
All right.
So I want to say hello to our iHeart listeners.
Or a kilometer stone for those international listeners.
Thank you. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's why you're here. You're here to make me
By the way, all that off the top of my head, too. I winged that, too, by the way.
off the cuff Oscar, we call him.
One track Oscar type.
And I also I wanted to try something different. We're always asking people, send us email, give us your ideas, your thoughts, your comments, your criticisms. We have a phone number, Oscar.
Your grocery list.
Do you know what that phone number is?
It's 1-800-BITE-ME.
Nope.
Bite me hard.
So we have a phone number listeners could call, and they could leave us messages. So I figured if they leave us messages, we'll play the best ones at the beginning of each podcast.
At the beginning, not the end. Oh, she.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
During this time. And that phone number is 872-57... Oscar has that out. 872
871
529
513
0767.
7030.
That's 872-529-0767. That's a Chicago area code.
That's not, though.
Just so
I've
you
never
know,
heard of
it
that.
really is.
Never heard of it, though.
Or it's
Chicago
872-529
about 34,000 years.
0SOS. 872-529-0SOS. I want them to leave us messages, and the best messages, we'll play them at the beginning of the show.
Now, what do you consider best? Because that's very subjective.
I don't
Like
know.
if someone says, like, eat my ass, but in a really like a...
That would be pretty funny, and I would probably play it.
Okay.
I probably would.
So now we just gave incentive for
Yeah.
a certain kind of person.
You could
to
leave
talk
us
on the
messages
phone.
about anything.
So if someone wants to ask something serious, they're like, oh, they want to eat my ass for replies. I won't call them now.
They could leave us a message about anything, but we
All right.
will vet them and we will put the best ones at the beginning of the show.
All right.
They could be funny, they could be crazy, they could be telling a story that a listener experienced, a paranormal story.
Oh, Jesus, it's going to be like
Maybe they
5
saw
minutes
a
long.
UFO. I want to hear them, and we'll play them on the show.
I mean, yeah, okay, good. You vet them.
I will vet them. You just cut them in.
Yeah, sure.
Fair?
I mean, I'm good for
Do you
it.
think anyone will call?
I don't think so, no. I mean, how many people email?
Not a lot of emails lately.
Yeah, emails are more likely than calls.
No reviews lately. No emails.
Yeah.
We're losing love. I don't know.
No,
what's going
we're
on.
not losing love. It's just that people don't. It's just a very lazy thing that people don't get used to doing, and they won't do it because they're not used to
It's
it.
hard to get people to take that.
I don't fucking do it. I listen to like 50,000 podcasts a week, and I still don't do it.
Well, I figure if we give them a way to leave a voicemail, that's easy.
you would think.
Everyone leaves voicemails.
Okay, who uses their phone to talk on the phone?
Yeah.
I don't use it that way. I use it to text only.
Well,
Ain't going.
872-529-0767. Let's see what happens.
All right, cool.
Leave us some messages. We'll play them on the show.
871-350.
Nope. That's not the number.
34.
It's 872-529-0767.
They're gonna fuck it up now. It says so many numbers. It's gonna be great. All right.
Do you remember it? Could you repeat it?
Oh no.
Do you want me to repeat it?
If you want,
How many times? I think I've said it like 10 times. 529-0767.
Now say it as if it was one long word, like one number.
872-529-0767.
No. Like 87 million,
87,252,009. Nope. 872,000,000.
You're welcome, everybody.
529,767.
So when I used to be on the dating scene, I would give out my number that way.
Oh
Just
my
to throw
God, how
just
annoying.
just to be funny. Yeah.
No wonder you're single for so goddamn long.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oscar, how could people contact us?
I mean, I have a Twitter account.
Us, boo. Facebook
Oh, yeah. The
at
Fotch.
Chicago Ghost Podcast.
Fotch book. Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram at Chicago Ghosts.
Ghosts.
They can look us up on YouTube at Supernatural Occurrence Studies.
But
And we should really have a lot more YouTube subscribers than we do, because we have some good content on YouTube. Videos from our trips, our podcast episodes,
subjective,
some weird
yeah.
stuff that's happened around the house here, all sorts of stuff. Shout out to Maria Zlata, by the way, our YouTube friend.
oh, did she give us another shout out?
She did. She
Oh, really?
enjoyed the banter we had in the time travel episode about the Polish-Mexican dry wedding.
Oh, at the end? I think she just listens to
In
the
the
outtakes.
beginning.
She's only commented
No, it
on
was
the
in the
outtakes.
beginning.
What's in the beginning?
Babe,
It
you
was the
keep
beginning.
kicking my leg.
Do you want me to keep going? Want me
Turn
to
up.
keep
Why are
the-
you talking?
First you were
Why are you
kicking
talking?
my foot, so then I put my foot down from the seat, and now you're kicking my leg?
We just took up airtime on that.
Sorry.
Can we edit that out?
That's what you're worried about.
Can we edit that out?
We spent like 17 minutes now on other things.
Our email. Do you know our email address?
Wait, I know this. It's 872.
God. Contact at chicagoghostpodcast.com.
Yeah, we have our own email. Is that better or not?
It's good to have.
Okay. You should have a Hotmail. Is that still a thing?
AOL? What?
Well, yeah. I think Hotmail's still a thing.
What else? Patreon. Oscar.
I forgot we had that.
We have a Patreon account.
I think it's good that people keep. I think it's good for them to know that I don't know this stuff every time we do a show.
Repetition is key.
It's not a bit, guys. It really isn't. I really don't remember any of this.
Nope.
And
doesn't.
I never visit those sites or YouTube thing or
No, you
Vimeo.
don't.
Are we on Vimeo now?
We're
too?
not on Vimeo.
No, okay,
No.
whatever. That's the one I go to more often.
Well, it's patreon.com/supernatural occurrence studies podcast.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/supernatural
Slash another movie
occurrence
podcast.
studies
Oh, I'm
podcast.
sorry, not that one.
Become a patron and receive stickers, early podcast releases, commercial
Stickers so
free
you can get to your kids.
podcast releases, chat sessions with the hosts, signed photographs of ghostly apparitions,
Wait.
and other cool stuff.
Are you saying that if someone commissions or donates enough for a chat with me, I have to come in and be on that chat?
Yes.
So if if the chat's like a regular chat and they don't specify anyone, you can do it?
Yes.
But if they specify me, I have to come in and do it?
Yes.
Okay. So don't specify me, people.
Paige, wow. Open that bag, girl.
Yeah, that's not loud at all.
Open that bag. Oh, okay.
You're still in the room.
I didn't want to.
Yeah. Speak more with that.
It's pretty late. We've been drinking, as usual.
Yeah, this is a really good combo. I really like it.
I like it.
I'm asking for another refill.
I haven't been drinking.
Yeah, we're wondering why you've not been drinking alcohol lately, Lexi.
I'm wondering the same thing.
You know what? You're such a theory caster.
Theory caster.
You cast
Is
theories.
that like theory-caster? Theory caster?
That would explain my
It is
increased appetite, though.
Appetite? Yeah. Sensitivity in the chestal area.
Guys, don't fucking
all sorts of.
don't fight me, or else I'll never.
Wait, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been having that.
You've been having sensitivity in the chestal area.
Over here.
That she's rubbing it. That's the area. Yep, that's the one.
She's rubbing.
There's two of them actually. In case you
Yeah,
didn't know.
And then over here, too?
I don't know what you're pointing
Twins.
to. I can't see over my laptop.
Twins.
Like,
Is that your
right
abdomen?
above my stomach.
Abdomen, honey.
Your abdomen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Oh boy, you better take a test, girl.
Yeah, go take a test.
So,
Why are you guys freaking me out? I was really not worried until now.
didn't expect all this to happen. What I was going to say,
Fucking theory caster.
this episode is freaky as shit.
Oh, we were doing an episode.
We are doing an episode.
Oh, I thought you just invited me to just hang out and record.
I'm not really afraid of stuff. Stuff usually doesn't freak me out unless it's aliens. I hate aliens.
Aliens, don't forget airplanes.
I love aliens.
Spiders.
Airplanes and spiders. Yes. Okay.
Nightmares.
Right. Thank you, Oscar.
You're
Got
afraid
it.
of.
Thank you. But while I was researching this episode,
Yeah.
I was in my home office up there, and I usually have the windows wide open, blinds open, window up, because I like to see out in the yard, see the pool, see the green.
Make sure your kids are not running away.
That's right. But I actually had to close the windows and shut the blinds as I was researching this episode because I got really freaked out.
Okay.
Like it got to me. Yeah, this is.
It's not. Oh.
There's Lexi.
There I am.
Hello.
She's fucking talking. I just realized.
Welcome back to the
She
show.
doesn't realize it's not on yet.
No, it really freaked me out as I was researching this episode. And it's been an episode I wanted to talk about for a long time. I just didn't even know
Like
how
2
to.
weeks, you think?
No, I actually brought up this topic way back when we were out in Massachusetts in the in the Hockomock Swamp. I just talked about this for a minute.
Okay.
And I've been wanting to cover it ever since, but it's such a broad topic. I didn't know how to do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
So finally I just said, fuck it, and I sat down and I just researched the hell out of it and put together a really good show.
Good.
But I'm warning listeners, it's freaky.
I can't wait to riff on it.
It's different. It is unlike anything we've ever covered before.
What is
So,
it?
I will let you guys know when we come back from hearing from our
Oh,
sponsors.
what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
we should listen
let's
to
hear
it.
from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Audible.com, with over 200,000 audio programs to choose from, Audible has you covered. Horror, mystery, true crime, sci-fi, nonfiction, and more. All narrated by A-list celebrities and very unique performers. Go to www.audibletrial.com/SOS Radio. That's audibletrial.com/SOS Radio. And claim your free 30-day trial and free audiobook now. That's audibletrial.com/SOS Radio. This episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast is brought to you by Grammarly.com. Grammarly. Built by linguists and language lovers, Grammarly's writing app finds and corrects hundreds of complex writing errors instantly, so you don't have to. Copy and paste any English text into Grammarly's online text editor or install the free Grammarly extension for Chrome, Firefox, and Safari and get to writing. Download Grammarly now for free at www.getgrammarly.com/ghost. That's getgrammarly.com/ghost. Bring Grammarly's powerful algorithms straight to wherever you are writing online. Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and more. What are you waiting for? Download Grammarly for free at getgrammarly.com/ghost. Ad sponsors, ad sponsors, ad sponsors. Buy.
That works.
You should buy something.
Subliminal hits. Buy our stuff. Sponsor our stuff.
Like that Family Guy.
Visit our links.
Visit our links. Have you visited yet?
And we are back. Well, guys, the lights are turned down low. The drinks are flowing. And our ceremonial candle is lit. Let's get into this topic.
It's flame.
The candle is flame. It's Waka flame.
Waka flame? Wow. You're aging.
So the information I'm going to share in this episode comes mainly from the groundbreaking research of a man called David Paulides. That's Paulides.
That was Paulides.
If you want to look him up. I wish I could claim it as my own. I really do. But it mainly comes from David Paulides.
Okay.
He broke this story probably 5 or 6 years ago now.
Okay.
Now, Paulides is he's a 20-year veteran of the San Jose, California Police Department, where he was mainly involved in SWAT and patrol and street crimes, having finished his career as a detective in the Vice and Intelligence Unit.
What's Vice again?
I don't fucking know.
Okay.
It's hardcore. That's all I know.
Is Vice drugs?
Vice and Intelligence.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah,
drugs.
probably.
Because they have its own robbery. They have a homicide department. Vice must be drugs.
I could Google. Someone ask her, Google Vice. What does the acronym stand for? All I know is it's hardcore. Vice and Intelligence. So this is a man who knows.
Yeah.
He knows how to investigate. He knows how to chase down leads. He knows how to navigate a bureaucratic system. Reasoning and deduction are second nature to this guy. He knows when he's being lied to. It's an ability he had to develop to survive as an officer of the law for 20 years. And he's incredibly analytical. He states his case point by point by point. And at the end of the day, he never gives us an answer as to why his incredibly perplexing and downright frightening research, the mystery exposed, is even happening.
I found out what Vice is.
What is Vice?
As a departmental thing in the police department. It means a lot of things, by the way, but the one that we're talking about, for criminal activities involving prostitution, pornography, or drugs.
Oh, okay.
So that's the stuff.
So probably undercover work and
Yeah.
of
That makes sense.
penetrating organized crime.
Penetrating. I
rings
see what
and
you did
things.
there. I see what you did there. Also, have you ever met a detective before of any kind?
I have, yes.
Have you noticed them how they're always they always have like a suspicious eye over a lot of things. They're very analytical beings.
Very analytical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this guy. And like I said, at the end of the day, he never gives us a reason why his perplexing and downright frightening line of research, the mystery exposed, is even happening. He doesn't try to lead us in any direction. Doesn't try to make up our minds for us. He basically says, bless you.
Thank you.
He basically says, here's the research, here's the statistics, here's the common factors, now make up your own mind. And I appreciate that. All he's saying is that something incredibly weird is happening, and he backs it up with tons of evidence and, unfortunately, way too many cases. Paulides is also a cryptozoologist. More on that in a minute. A producer and a writer. David Paulides shares his research mainly through his Missing 411 book series. There are 7 books in his series, and they're incredible. And via his website, the Can-Am Missing Project, the Canadian-American Missing Project. He shares his findings via interviews, his YouTube channel. Can-Am Missing Project on YouTube is his official channel. Don't pay attention to any of the bullshit spin-off channels. Can-Am Missing Project on YouTube. And he also shares his information through special guest lectures and most recently a 27 documentary called Missing 411, the movie, which, of course, I saw, and it was pretty good. It's freaky stuff.
I remember that coming out. I never saw it.
It's good. It's freaky stuff.
Okay.
But, of course, we're going to get into it. Now, I'll leave links to his website and a few interviews in the show notes so you can research further on your own, and I highly recommend you do so. His research is really fascinating. You see, David Paulides investigates and chronicles strange and mysterious disappearances in the U.S. National Park System. Places like Yosemite National Park, the Smoky Mountains, Grand Canyon National Park, Rocky Mountain National Park, Devil's Den State Park, and a whole bunch more. Disappearances that have uncannily similar traits: age, sex, physical condition of the persons gone missing, geographic clusters where the disappearances happen, locations where some of the disappeared reappear, topography, weather patterns, how the missing are found, as in condition of the person living or dead, and even fauna, huckleberries and blueberries to be exact, found near the areas where people go missing. And don't be fooled, stuff we're going to talk about is not only happening here in the U.S. in our national parks, it's happening all over the world. But for this episode, we're going to focus on what's happening here. Now, it all started after Paulides retired from the San Jose Police Department. Shortly after his retirement, he was approached with an unusual request: to prove once and for all whether or not Bigfoot or Sasquatch exists. Now, this isn't an episode about whether Bigfoot is real or not, but after analyzing 111 samples of supposed Bigfoot DNA, Paulides and his research team, called North American Bigfoot Search, published a paper confirming, quote, the existence of a novel hominin hybrid species, commonly called Bigfoot or Sasquatch, living in North America. Researchers' extensive DNA sequencing suggests that the legendary Sasquatch is a human relative that arose approximately 15,000 years ago as a hybrid cross of modern Homo sapiens with an unknown primate species, end quote. Now, of course, his paper was met with much debate, and we still don't know 100% if Bigfoot is real or a hoax, but it was while Paulides was out researching the Bigfoot case that two off-duty National Park rangers who had worked at a number of national parks in their careers and had participated in numerous search and rescue missions approached Paulides and expressed concerns about the inordinate number of people gone missing in national parks and how underreported the disappearances are, and the fact that no follow-up is being done. The National Park Service has offered no explanation for the disappearances and does not understand what exactly is happening. You see, millions of people visit our national parks each year, and over the years, nearly 2,000 people have gone missing, but the parks aren't talking about it. The National Park Service, which is a division of the U.S. Department of Interior, oversees 84.4 million acres of land and employs approximately 27,000 people. When Paulides approached the National Park Service and requested information on missing person cases under the Freedom of Information Act, he was first told that those type of records do not exist anywhere. Later on, an attorney for the National Park Service contacted Paulides asking why he wanted the records. Paulides told the attorney about his budding research, and the attorney said that if he wanted missing persons records from Yosemite National Park, the park he was requesting for, the park with the largest cluster of disappearances, it would cost $34,000. If he wanted records for all national parks across the U.S., it would cost $1.4 million.
Why?
$1.4 million for records that were said to not exist in the first place?
And that should be public, by the way, because National Parks is a government branch thing, right?
Exactly.
Entity. Yeah, what?
So it seems the National Park Service was trying to stonewall the research, deliberately keeping from the public the fact that people go missing inside national parks in record numbers. Is it a cover-up? A matter of national security? Is it because of money? After all, the National Park Service brings in about $92 billion a year. If visitors caught wind that these disappearances are happening, surely a drop in attendance would happen, which would result in lost revenue.
I believe that, but don't call me Shirley. Real quick, is there a why to why they charged them or tried to charge them?
They wanted to charge Paulides because he is a commercial author.
So if it was like an investigative, if it was a PI, he would get it?
If he was a member of the public.
He is okay.
Yes, but he's a publisher. So this is the red tape they're trying to put him through.
Because it seems like weird, because if you're denying that these things exist, and what they're seemingly doing, they're denying that that there are files and missing persons. Why then?
Well, first they denied they existed.
Then why then charge for it? Like,
exactly.
What hurdle did he go through to say, like, well, I know they exist, bro?
So at the end of the day, what he's doing is he's having today, 5 or 6 years later, he's having other people file these requests.
Yeah, well, yeah.
On his behalf, kind of on his behalf,
yeah.
Kind of a backdoor.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they completely stonewalled him.
Okay.
Was it because political bullshit between the Department of Interior and the National Park Service? Someone not doing their job and others covering for it? Were people with comfy jobs, impressive job titles, high salaries, and pensions on the line protecting themselves? Or was it simply too much bureaucratic red tape, literally too hard to pull information from such a vast organization? Who knows? And I'm not here to skewer the National Park Service or the Department of the Interior. I'll leave that to Paulides. I'm here to expose our listeners to the research. And I know what you're thinking. People slip and fall. They drown. They starve, or a bear got them inside our national parks. And absolutely, all that could happen and more to a person in the wilderness.
And has happened.
Absolutely.
Sure. Not to mention murders, too. I mean, people do that.
Yes,
so.
but you're absolutely right. But I want you to keep in mind, as we go forward with this episode, any disappearance that shows signs of, say, falling off a cliff, murder, Oscar, suicide, intentional disappearance, animal attacks, drowning, dehydration, starvation, and random accidents are not included as part of David Paulides' statistics. He's extremely careful on this point.
Well, I imagine he would be.
Yes, those kinds of cases are thrown out of his research. He only focuses on abnormal disappearances that show no signs of common tragedies that could befall a person within a national park.
Twin Peaks shit, man. They've all found the Black Lodge somewhere. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the common themes found in Paulides' disappearances. First, let's talk about geographic similarities, or clusters.
Good, that was going to be a question from me.
Yeah, what Paulides refers to as clusters. These are areas where individuals disappear in unusually high numbers. Cluster areas include California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, Georgia, Michigan, Arkansas, and Illinois. That's Breeds, Illinois, Pearl City, Illinois, Braceville, Illinois, and Kankakee River near Momence, Illinois, in case you're wondering. I've never heard of any of these, by the way, and I'm from Illinois. Actually, 52 cluster areas have been identified across North America. Some of these clusters could be a few square miles in area, and some could be as large as a state. And more than 3 disappearances fitting Paulides' criteria in the same area make up a cluster.
Oh, okay. So 3 would have to disappear from a certain area for it to count into his statistics.
Correct. 3 disappearances with the same properties to that disappearance.
Right.
In one area, make a cluster.
Yeah, you should be a scientist.
Exactly. That's the thing. He's very analytical about this.
That's a really good way to approach it. I mean, based on the nothing research I've done.
Right.
I mean, and I've never done it before, so I don't know I've never been a forest park ranger. I know about fire watch people. They're fun.
Forest park rangers is actually one of the most dangerous jobs in North America.
You know what fire watch is?
I don't.
There's this game called Firewatch. It's really cool. It has to do with disappearances and strange things happening. But the game is about nothing like that. But it has this great era of mystery. And I forget which national park it was, but they would hire people basically who want to be loners to be out and live on this tower called the Firewatch. I think it's Firewatch. And they would live up there for like a certain month at a time alone. And they would have a domain, like a diameter or whatever, domain thing of area where if they get called in on the radios, they check this place out, someone's supposed to be there, make sure they're fine. Or we heard something was weird there in your area, go check it out. They live there on the land, on this tower. And they're not Forest Park Rangers, because I guess they hire those out, contract, like they hire just regular people to do that, I guess. People who have just credentials, like, or people who have background and maybe in it, but they're never fire park rangers though. I don't know how true it is, but I played a whole game about that.
It sounds interesting.
It is really cool.
I wonder if it was based off this kind of research.
I kind of think it does now that I think about it.
Well, let's see as it unplays if it fits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes up a cluster. And there's 52 clusters across the United States, and 3 disappearances with these certain criteria to that disappearance constitute a cluster. Continuing on with, geography, common geography traits. People often go missing in areas with a high concentration of boulders and rock, and specifically a high concentration of granite. Now, interestingly, Yosemite National Park, which has the highest number of strange disappearances, it's the largest cluster, also has the biggest source of granite on Earth.
On Earth?
On Earth.
Huh. Granite.
Water. Yeah. Now, there's also water involved in this. Bodies are often found near water. Swamps, rivers, lakes, streams, and oceans. If you look at a cluster map, one of Paulides' cluster map, just Google missing 411 cluster map, and I'll leave a link in the show notes to a cluster map. If you look at that map, the clusters are non-existent, literally non-existent, down the entire middle of the U.S., where no large bodies of water are. Really, really weird.
That's some science shit. And I assume these bodies are not like saying like, well, the reason they're by water is because they ended up in the water and they wash up ashore somewhere?
No.
Okay, I assume that wouldn't be it because you said that already.
Remember, I said earlier, drownings, obvious drownings,
right?
Out of his.
No, I'm saying, but maybe they were, maybe the bodies were bloated, but maybe they didn't drown, but they were found. Maybe they were dropped in the water. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Now you're.
That's what I was asking.
Maybe getting a little closer.
Okay. Well.
Berries. Berries are another common theme.
Who's berry?
Oftentimes, out-picking berries is a common reason why the disappeared were in the woods, in the wild in the first place. Specifically, huckleberries and blueberries are often found in the areas where people vanish. Now, I did some research, and huckleberries are actually used in ceremonies and in magic, namely the huckleberry leaf. Huckleberry leaves are believed to bring good luck and good fortune, namely luck and fortune brought in the form of lucid dreams.
So, but to anyone who picks them.
Well, watch it. So huckleberry leaves, when burnt and inhaled, are said to promote good, restful sleep. Huckleberry leaves signify luck, protection, dream magic, and hex breaking. And of course, I also looked up blueberries. Turns out, blueberries stand for protection and embody the esoteric principles of calm acceptance, peace, and a protected environment. For centuries, witches have eaten blueberry tarts, which, when under psychic attack, to protect themselves. So let me try that again. For centuries, witches have eaten blueberry tarts when under psychic attack to protect themselves. So, to me, what I read in that is that huckleberries and blueberries signify pacifying a person, putting them in a calm state or to sleep, in other words, putting them in a dream state, lull them into a false sense of security, while whatever is happening in these missing cases can happen without a fight and produce no memories of the event. Fucking crazy.
That's my first thought, too. I was thinking aliens, maybe like...
Crazy.
I was thinking aliens on that one, like a certain REM type of brainwave that they emit that only these huckleberries...
And blueberries and things.
Right, they can induce, like they can sense that, like beacons for them.
Possibly.
Beacons for something demonic or something or for like a man-made ritualistic culting
It's
where they
possible.
kidnap people. Hey, he's asleep like we should be. He's at the right state we want him in. Let's sacrifice him
Exactly.
for maximum luck to our cult, and then let's dump him down a river.
Exactly. Crazy shit.
That's pretty cool.
Names of locations
I
where
mean-
people go missing.
Not cool, but
Check this out. So in many of the cluster areas, people have disappeared near places with names like Devil's Gulch, Devil's Lookout.
shit, of course.
This is true. Devil's Gulch, Devil's Lookout, Twin Devil Lake, and Devil's Punch Bowl. Perhaps named to reflect the evil people have sensed in these places over long periods of time. Hell, Yosemite is literally taken from the central Mohawk Indian phrase meaning those who kill. Fucking Yosemite National Park. Its true name is Those Who Kill.
So Yosemite Sam is those who kill Sam.
Pretty much.
That's fucked up. Disney. Well, that's not Disney. That's Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Now, weather plays a part in this, too. In approximately 95% of the missing cases, bad weather strangely follows a disappearance.
Follows after.
Right after. Torrential rain, fog, sandstorms, heavy snowstorm, electrical storm, which all wash out footprints and any other clues and make it impossible to carry out a search until the weather clears, giving whatever is happening time to happen. And most of the disappearances happen in early to late afternoon in broad daylight.
Well, I assume that's when most people are out there. It's not open at dark, right?
Or at night while they're camping? No. It's
Oh, right, they can
daylight.
camp out there.
It's daylight.
I mean, they're doing rain dances after the ritual so to cover up the evidence. It's clearly what they're doing. Maybe it's Native American or something.
Rain, winds, sandstorms, electrical storms. 95% of the cases, they're reported missing. Search parties are formed. Bad weather hits. 95%. Let's talk about the type of people who go missing. Probably the biggest percentage, unfortunately, are children. Children make up a high percentage of disappearances in our national parks. And children between the ages of 20 months and 12 years make up the largest swath of child disappearances. They're often wearing brightly colored clothes at the time of the disappearance, and a lot of times they're in the company of a dog, a pet. Most of the time the dog returns, but not the kids.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Now, there's an interesting thing about the brightly colored clothes. I mentioned it for a reason. Paulides points it out for a reason. In other parts of the world, Indonesia, for example, it's a common belief that if you wear bright colored clothes and enter the rainforest, the jinn will get you. Demons, in other words, and you'll be taken.
Yeah.
You just don't do it. And here in this country, Paulides found that statistically, brightly colored clothes is a common theme in child disappearances. Coincidence?
I mean, not to mention adults don't wear bright stuff. Usually it's kids who wear them. So we don't know if they're after kids necessarily or because they tend to wear most likely bright colors over the adults who wear adult colors and shit colors.
Right. Now, speaking of clothing, this is really freaky. Shoes, pants, jackets, underwear, and shirts are found removed, even in the case of children too young to undress themselves. Sometimes the clothes are found, even months after the disappearance, in near perfect condition and neatly folded on a rock or in the middle of a trail with no signs of exposure to the elements, meaning they're in near perfect condition even if the person was missing for days, weeks, months, or in some disappearance cases, even years. When bodies are discovered, a lot of times the clothing, like shirts and pants, they're on the victim, but they're backwards or inside out. Or shoes are still on the feet, but the laces are missing. Like the person was undressed and then dressed again just incorrectly, as if by someone or something that just doesn't get how we do things. Now, there is something called paradoxal undressing. Paradoxal undressing, something that happens in about 50% of hypothermia cases, where a person's vasomotor center becomes paralyzed and gives the sensation that the body is overheating, hence the removal of clothes even in extremely cold weather. However, this does not explain the weird clothes scenarios in temperate weather disappearances, or the fact that in a lot of these cases, people's clothes are found close to the spot where they went missing before hypothermia could set in, or the backwards clothes, or the missing shoelaces, or the neatly folded pile of clothes found in locations that have been searched time and time and time again.
Okay.
I know.
Can I say something, or you got something?
No, absolutely. Please.
Okay. Two things. One is that, three things. Okay, so the simplest explanation, if you want to go with the simplest thing, and assuming this is a man doing it, some people doing it, then they are clearly leaving these clothes neatly folded and everything, months, years, whatever, only when someone is going to find them. Because it cannot exist without weather taking advantage of it.
Exactly.
Not even one day. Have you let something out for one day?
You're absolutely
someone
in the wild.
Someone who's there all the time must wait for someone to opportune on that moment, which could take years, weeks, days after they've initially searched, for them to say, okay, now it's a good time. Put it there. Bob will be there in a minute. He's taking this trail, and he'll see it. And it'll be neatly folded and fucking weird. That's the simplest explanation because it's the most possible, right? Let's go with that first. Secondly,
but then my retort, obviously, to that would be: 1, who are the people?
Right.
2, where are they hiding?
Yeah.
3, how are they undetected?
Well, I'm thinking underground,
right?
Underground something.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like a rock is not a rock. Maybe it doesn't weigh as much. Lift it up and there's something there. Look, what is it? That country that had a bunch of tunnels underneath.
Seattle, Las Vegas, France.
It's in Asia when the Americans
They
attacked.
all have catacombs.
Yeah, Vietnam too. Tunnels everywhere, bro. Anyway, so there's one. Another one is, have you seen this German show that's on Netflix right now? It's called Dark.
Oh, man. I think I did.
Okay, that one, it's a fucked up show, and it's not quite the same.
It's kind of a...
But there's a phenomena in that show that describes eerily close to what you're telling me.
Really?
Eerily close. And this is just a fictional show, by the way, of course. But, they hit home on some things. It's a time-twisting thing. It's not like time traveling.
I've watched 1 or 2 episodes. I got bored.
It's time warping. It's hard to watch, too. You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And it's German. So, but I loved it. And in it, basically, there's this cave or tunnel in a cave or whatever that creates every once in a while, maybe when certain criteria is met, and usually with children too, a certain thing happens where a child gets either kidnapped or sucked in to this cave or to this power that's in it, and they suddenly get transported into a different time, completely different time, same place, different time. So they'll end up in the 80s of the same town they're in instead of 2008 or whatever. It happens, and then that person will be replaced by the body or the clothes of a different kid they took at a different time.
Oh shit!
And they would find the clothes there.
Well, and
they would find this clothes that it should have rotted away because it's from the 80s and they're in 2018.
Yeah.
But they're finding it as if it was made a year ago.
Oh, man.
Things like that.
I'll bet you it was taken off of this guy's research.
It's so eerie. That's
well,
close.
I'm not going to give away the gift yet.
Yes.
Because there's a lot.
And of course, which leads to the third main thing, which is hooks into that, is that it's a time thing, like a time displacement problem happening where whatever, it has to be something intelligent doing it. Nothing folds clothes like that.
Oh, just you wait.
The folding of the clothes could just happen and it appears for them it's instantaneous. For us, it's a few years. And
the crazy thing here is, I'm spinning a story, right? I'm taking all of Paulides' research, and I'm trying to condense it for our listeners.
Yeah.
But listeners could go out and they could file their own FOIA requests. They could look up newspaper archives for when these disappearances happen. They could read the story. This is real fucking shit. This really happens.
We should pitch this to have to be a segment at the Oliver. What's the name? The last week tonight with John Oliver. The John Oliver show. To have him do it because the way that guy markets things, because he'll say like, go to this judge's house. Here's his email, and like he'll not email.
Do it yourself.
Like
right?
do it yourself. He'll give
Yes.
like all these pointers and ways to go out and do petitions at this website. He could do the same. We could do the same for this. Like, you guys can do your own petitioning of your thing. Go to this website right now and blah blah blah.
And that's basically what Paulides did. Like all these missing cases, obviously they existed, but he was the first person to take 100,000-foot view look at every case and start piecing together all of the similarities between the cases. No one ever did it before, but the information was there. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's continue. So we're still talking about types of people that go missing.
Yeah, I know.
So we covered geography, we covered weather. Now we're talking about people, children still, right?
Children mainly, right?
Yes, children mainly. So
Bright colored clothes.
50% of the children who go missing, they're found dead. And the ones who are found miles away from where they disappeared, in areas seemingly impossible for them to get to on their own. Sometimes thousands of feet up rocky, nearly impossible to climb mountains.
Impossible to climb for adults or for the kid?
Both.
In the same park or in a different away from the park?
Yep. Well,
Sorry.
Aliens.
It's okay.
Sorry.
A toddler climbing to the peak of a mountain? Come on. Or kids walking untold miles uphill and through snow in a short period of time? I'm not buying it. My own kids hate walking up and down stairs from the basement of my house to the top floor of my house to put their laundry away.
Lexi, too.
In fact, in the documentary Missing 411, the movie, Paulides asks Les Stroud, famous survivalist from TV's The Survival Man series,
Never seen it.
to try and recreate some of the treks and movements these kids were supposed to have made in the time they were supposed to have made them, and the Survival Man couldn't do it. Just think about that. And this treacherous upward trek, going up, elevation, it's very common, yet unexplainable when it comes to these disappearances. We're talking about bodies being found in areas that are only accessible by helicopter in a lot of cases. Think about it. Heading upwards, it's unnatural. Doing so expels tons of energy. You're moving away from safety and cover and water.
And gravity.
You're fighting gravity. You're open to exposure and thinner air.
And there's water where they're found, right? Because water is a big...
Right.
Yeah.
Water's down. Traveling downward, it's much easier and expels less energy. Downward is towards help and water and shelter of the forest, towards more easily breathable air, and ultimately a logging road or trail of some kind. This traveling upward theme will come up again and again in these cases, not only in children, but of adults too. Now, when children are found alive, they won't talk about their experiences, or say they don't remember what happened to them, or they're simply too young to talk about what happened. They're usually found running a low-grade fever and appear traumatized, obviously.
But otherwise unscathed?
Well, in many cases...
They have a triangle fucking scar on their cheek.
Right, and they have double horns.
Yeah.
In many cases,
Call
the
me
kids...
Damien, mother.
The kids have no shoes on and are missing other pieces of clothing. And even when they are found miles away without the shoes they were wearing when they disappeared, their feet are not scratched or bruised at all. And in nearly all cases, parents say that the child was right behind them or within eyesight when the disappearance occurred. Literally gone in seconds.
I would hope so. Otherwise, we have a lot of bad parents. Negligent-ass parents.
So that covers a lot of the similarities with children. Now, then there's the elderly. So if it's not children, it's the elderly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now
So we're good.
Well, wait. So elderly disappear mainly between the ages of 74 and 85.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jay.
And they're mostly of Germanic descent, interestingly. They're of Germanic descent.
Ah, okay.
Now, making up a smaller percentage of the missing is the young adult and the middle-aged. It's a smaller percentage, but yet it's still happening enough to pique interest. These disappeared are young adults to middle-aged. They're healthy. They're physically fit. They're experienced hikers, woodsmen, and hunters. And they're almost always male. And as I said, these people have experience in
even the kids?
Kids, a good percentage is male, but there are female kids as well.
Good.
But the middle-aged tend to be male.
Okay.
People have, like as I said, these guys have experience in the woods. They're woodsmen, hunters. They're often traveling a particular route time and time again, so they're familiar with the surroundings. No reason to disappear because they've done it a ton of times. And they're usually prepared with backpacks and survival gear. These guys know how to survive, yet they vanish. Sometimes bodies are found. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes survival gear is found miles and miles away from where the actual body is found.
Like always near water.
Typically near water, right.
And
just as an aside, when most of these bodies are found, they're usually, in almost all cases, found lying face down, which is unnatural.
Right, because if they're ideally being attacked, or even if they fall, maybe not fall, but either way, those are taken out of cases anyway. You face it, like you don't face the ground.
Yep.
You'd have to be like really high, or something, or knocked out from behind to fall like that.
Placed face down, right?
Or placed face down. Or placed face down, right?
Your natural inclination is to breathe. You're face up.
Yeah, exactly.
Face down, you're suffocating.
You're like that fat guy from Seven with the plate of spaghetti, just face down on it. Man, so, I mean, how many of these cases, how many of these cases where the body has yet to be found? Are those a lot?
I don't have an actual number, but there's
some, right?
There's a ton.
A ton of these bodies haven't been found.
Have not been found
yet.
And
what I'm curious about is if any further checking up on the kids who've survived would do. I mean, I imagine they're going through psychology right now. Has been checked on. Maybe have said something, have relapsed something, have out of hypnosis said something or whatever.
We're going to get to that.
Okay, cool.
We're going to get to that.
That was one of my follow-up questions.
So most of the bodies, when they're found face down, right? Unnatural. Now, health is interesting. In most of the cases that disappeared, right before they went missing, these people complained of not feeling well. Now, this is statistically speaking. So this happens a lot in these cases, that right before they go missing, they complain to anyone with them in the forest that they're not feeling well, or they're complaining of being unusually tired. And in the cases of elderly disappearing, many of them have medical conditions, like it's very difficult for them to walk, or they have heart conditions or some other ailment that would prevent them from just getting up and walking away, never mind walking long distances in a short amount of time over rough terrain. This is a commonality.
Of the ones that were found?
Of the ones that were disappeared, not found.
Well, how would you know they went through the terrain if they disappeared?
Of surrounding areas.
Oh, okay.
Surrounding areas. So it's heart conditions. They can't walk really well. They're not found. No bodies anywhere around where the campsite or where they went disappeared. Leading people to think, hey, they walked away somewhere, but they can't. They're infirm. They're unhealthy. They complained about feeling ill or unusually tired. They can't go far.
Why are they even here?
But yet they're gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Not a single person who has disappeared, not to be recovered, has been armed or with a gun or any weapon or wearing a transponder or some sort of beacon locator. Not a single one. Convenient, huh?
And the ones that have?
Some people who had weapons, the hunters, for example, some one case I'm thinking of in particular, they found his gun.
Unfired and shit.
Unfired, didn't find him, but found his gun.
Okay, so it does nothing for you. Beacons, anything like that?
Nothing.
That's also
not
common
a single
back then,
person
those
who
are common.
disappeared had a beacon on them.
Right.
Convenient.
Pretty
no
convenient.
Weapons, no beacons.
How much do you want to try this?
Oh my god, dude, I don't know.
You don't know? I mean, it's pretty freaky. I won't lie.
I would probably do it myself. I don't think I would bring my kids.
No, don't bring your kids.
Just in case,
I think
man.
we've dressed Lexi up like a little girl with bright colors and a backpack, like a Scooby-Doo black.
throw it-
Funny.
No, I think we use you as bait, but we put like
No.
like a 1 day thing. We'll be right there.
I would do it.
So were the parents?
I wouldn't want to bring my kids. Yeah, wait till you
The
hear
fuck?
some of these stories. It's unbelievable, incredible, scary stuff.
Okay, I want to try it. with
Now,
Lexi.
tracking dogs. In 98 to 99% of the cases, tracking dogs are unable to find a scent or they'll simply refuse to track. These highly trained search and rescue dogs will refuse to track or will just sit down and whimper. Or they'll be hot on a trail when suddenly they lay down and stop searching, almost signifying that the person they're looking for disappeared into thin air. And cadaver dogs, when they're brought out on these search and rescue missions, never, not once, have they found a corpse.
Well, except for the ones that they found normally.
Normally, people just stumble upon them.
Oh, right, those you stumble upon.
Yes. These highly trained animals won't track. They'll refuse to track, or they'll track and just stop and sit, meaning, here it is, dummy.
Mm-hmm.
There they are, but there's nothing there. And cadaver dogs never find the bodies. Now,
So strange.
when people are found, either alive or dead, they're by people, not these search and rescue animals. When they're found, they're usually found in a spot that was searched before, sometimes 100 times before. Bodies have been found on main hiking trails right after the area had been searched a number of times by both highly trained search and rescue crews, volunteer dogs, helicopters, drones, and FLIR devices.
And other fucking tourists.
Forward-looking infrared devices.
Right.
Spots just searched. Suddenly the body will appear.
I think we're thinking dimensionality stuff.
It's crazy, man.
Or time. Fuck it, that's it. Oh, either that or
it
they're
goes
popping
on.
out of the ground like in Westworld.
It goes on. Uphill versus downhill. When bodies are found, they are almost always found uphill. Sometimes thousands of feet at the top of a mountain, supposedly having traveled incredible distances through very rough terrain and in an impossibly short amount of time. This happens with adults and children, as I mentioned before. People who go missing tend to be on extreme ends of the intellectual scale. This is an interesting one.
Really?
Doctors, psychiatrists, and physicists have all gone missing, as have people with Down syndrome and autism.
Which a lot of times can be told that they have just a different viewpoint.
That's
It doesn't really
right.
affect their intelligence at all.
A lot of the missing kids actually have mental
You're
disabilities.
kidding. It's just something we call disability. Some of these are not. They just look at things differently. It doesn't
That's
mean
a
that they're
great
dumb as
point.
fuck or anything.
It's a great point.
Okay. Right. Not that it's,
Here's another common theme: being last in line. A shockingly high number of people who have disappeared in our national forests went missing as they were walking last in line on a hiking trail.
got it.
One moment they're talking to others in the line. Next thing you know, boom, gone. Seconds, and they're never seen again.
So we tether a rope between all of us.
Yeah, handcuffs, man.
Yeah.
Now, when questioned, fellow hikers claim they were there 1 second and gone the next. Not a scream, an animal sound, nothing. Just
Rustling of leaves and shit? Nothing?
nothing. Just vanished. It's almost like someone or something is watching these people and waiting for the exact right time to strike. In this case, when they're the last person in the trail or the last in line.
That's a horror movie.
It is.
It's like a horror movie.
Now, the returned. Some people do come back, and those who have been found can never explain what happened to them. They're missing huge amounts of time. They have no idea how they traveled long distances. They're found disorientated, sometimes unable to speak for quite some time, unable to remember anything that happened during the ordeal. Others claim that they were right there, right where they disappeared, the entire time, and could see search and rescue crews looking for them, but were unable to communicate with the searchers, and the searchers unable to see the disappeared person. When the returned can remember a detail, it's usually that suddenly everything went silent. Not a bird or insect or even wind was heard. Everything is still, and then bam, gone. One female child, a 6-year-old named Lily, who disappeared in the late 1800s in a state forest up near Canada, while she and her family were out picking blueberries, actually. And I want you to keep in mind, this stuff goes back far. Mm-hmm. Lily disappeared for 46 hours, and when she was found, she said one thing that made people's ears perk up. She said, quote, "The sun shined the whole time I was in the woods," end quote. The sun shined all the time I was in the woods. She was gone for 46 hours.
Yeah.
So was it literal sunshine for 46 hours where she was? Or was it something else? Something man-made?
What would you say man-made there, I think?
Was she taken to a room? Was there some sort of electricity back then in the 1800s that was not...
like halogen light type of thing? I mean, if she doesn't know what it is. And
she's thinking it's the sun, but it's a bright light.
They can make them yellow, too.
And in the 1800s, would it be human? Think about that.
I have a, oh my God, so many things. So that one story, the one that piqued my interest is the one that the guy would be like, I was there when you guys were looking for me and you guys couldn't hear me.
So if you remember
find me.
A few episodes ago, and I can't remember which episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast it was, we talked about the Oz effect, where a person is having an alien experience, a UFO experience.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it's this incredibly life-changing event right in front of their eyes, but everyone around them is acting like nothing's happening.
Right, it's like
they're in their own...
in that context, we were making fun, or at least I was making fun, of how it looks like it's something completely... It's like it's so conveniently unbelievable, but also they have the truth on their side and it can't be refuted or refuted or whatever because it's just too conveniently... Like, of course we can see it, but only you can.
Right, exactly.
That was the joke I was making.
So when I read that, when I researched that particular story... Mm-hmm. How people are, hey, I'm hello, I'm right here, right where I was. What do you? To me, that's Oz effect. To me, that's alien in nature, but I don't know.
Well, I have another question that I'm wondering if the guy researched this because you didn't mention it in your talking about locations. This is a location question.
Sure.
They're all in nature, all of them.
Yes.
And they're all seemingly, and at least we're talking about this country right now, maybe a little bit of Canada, they're all in national parks, like preserved areas, correct?
Yes.
And
that is safe to say, yes.
And these areas have been, I mean, in its true nature form, as much as we can possibly stomach it, there since forever.
Millions of years, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Not paved over, not lived in by a city of people because they're preserved that way.
Or visited by billions of people a year, right?
Right. So, could this be like some sort of testament of some old world? Like, these are the only places that are as old as humanity is young, right?
Absolutely.
They've been there forever. That's why they're a national park.
And that's
why
the
the
thing.
Grand Canyon is allowed to exist the way it is. That's why it's not been filled in. And there's a mini
right. Well, again, Paulides is very, very careful not to give any explanations.
Very careful not to give, like, theorizing because he doesn't know.
Doesn't theorize, doesn't offer up explanations. He says, here's the statistical data.
Yeah, he's like
you
that.
Make up your mind.
Of course he's like that. I mean, that's just...
yes, which I appreciate. He's not trying to...
Also, like, I can't ask an analytical mind to give out... Right, that's just ridiculous.
Yes.
Right.
Now, I have my own ideas. I'm not ready to talk about them yet.
Okay.
But such ideas as Bigfoot, as aliens, as Thunderbirds are snatching these people and carrying them long distance, especially toddlers climbing to the top of a mountain, which is impossible. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. A toddler cannot climb to the top of a mountain. They will tire out, they will sit down, they will go to sleep. That's what will happen. They will not travel long distances up rocky slopes. They will not traverse miles and miles and miles of snow and barbed wire and mountains and hills and rivers and lakes like some of these kids have claimed to do. They won't do it. They won't do it. So some theories are it's thunderbirds, the cryptozoologic bird.
I wasn't even going in that direction.
Some people say black holes on Earth. Some people say it's a civilization of people that live in these national parks from millennia ago that still exist to this day. Think of
that we wouldn't know.
Think of hills in the eyes. Hills have eyes. People, right?
From the radiation of atomic war.
Of whatever, right? Yeah. That live underground. There's so many theories, but at the end of the day, no one fucking knows, man. But it is happening. But I don't want to get too far ahead.
You just fucking did, bro.
Because the next thing we got to talk about are the actual cases themselves, and this is what caused me to shut my window, shut my blinds in my office when I was researching this shit, because it is scary as hell. Because it's real.
Definitely. I'll definitely get there. I just want to, again, with the thing, I wasn't trying to go with some sort of, cryptozoology makes sense. I wasn't going with some cryptid. I was going with, there's something off from being in something so old. I mean, the ground we're standing on is not the ground. I mean, Chicago, for example, or New York, there's like fucking levels below that. Not to mention it was started as water. We filled it up. Like, it's not as old as the Mariana Trench, you know. It doesn't work that way. We don't breathe and live that old air, that old nature. We don't do that. We planted every tree that you see on a daily basis.
Yeah, you're right. Unless you're in the national forest.
And
right?
Grass. Like, it's like a big version or equivalent of putting a plant in your office. It's unnatural. It's what we're used to and what we call nature. And forest preserves, we have them, especially in Chicago, all over the place, especially the northwest side. And I've gone to them before, too. I don't know how long they've been preserved, but something doesn't not that long, and they're very small. No,
that's new growth. What we see in our forest preserves in Chicago, that's new growth.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it has at most a 200-year history. A pebble compared to this fucking national park stuff.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, I read one time about, there's this great book that I just love. I mean, it's very popular. I mean, History Channel made a show about it. I never saw the show, though. It's called The World Without Us, I think.
World Without Us.
Yeah. Okay. It's, I think I got it from here. If I'm wrong, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but also find out where I got this from. I read about this, the oldest, or one of the oldest, maybe the oldest, forest held in preservation, according to as far back as we can date as human beings, is somewhere in Poland.
Wow.
It's a huge forest, and the only reason it was stayed alive is because somehow throughout the twist of luck or fate to this natural whatever is certain princes and lords and kings would like to keep it alive, sometimes for hunting, sometimes for the hell of it, but it's always like a weird luck thing that we never took it down. And apparently it has some of the oldest, biggest fucking tree trunks there and shit like that you can't even imagine today, because they're just unimaginable, because we don't have that.
Well, we have, what was it? Is it Sequoia National Park?
I don't remember the name.
Sequoia National Park, listeners, if I'm wrong, forgive me, but that have those where they, back in the early 1900s, they actually carved roads through the fucking trees. That's how big around, right? Those, yes. So they go back to, they say prehistoric times, right? Yeah. So it kind of plays into what you're saying.
Some of that stuff is that old, and it's still growing, still there, still vibrant, or dead, but still there.
Yes.
Or, some dead trees are still doing things.
So what do you think? Where are you going?
I don't know. I think there's something inherently wrong with our species over the last couple millennia, maybe 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years, that we've institutionalized ourselves away from nature.
Oh, I would say that's true, for sure.
But, what kind of phenomenon can it take? Can it take its place to, maybe when we think of time pockets or dimensionality rifts, where we're like that guy, he was in a different dimension, saw everyone, he was like, hey, guys, you can't see me?
Exactly.
Maybe all this has to do with the fact that we haven't taken these places down, and this is like a remnant of a very old world. You know how we talk about in fantasy books, especially how in the old days there was magic.
Right.
And now
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
We have science now.
Yes. Yes.
You know, they think of it that way. Maybe that's the world of magic. That is, you know, maybe a huckleberry leaf actually does have that magical property, and attracts, you know, certain beasts or something, whatever, or certain being, to cause these shifts or rifts or whatever. And like, this is just the smallest examples of that happening. I mean, maybe we did have magic one day, a long time ago, forgotten long time ago. Such a forgotten
And
thing.
these people just happen to bump into it.
I mean, it seems like there's an intelligence behind it, so I can't.
Absolutely,
there's
it does.
definitely an intelligence behind it, so I can't say it's just nature. But I think the fact that we're on such old ground, literal ground, that's kind of fucked up. Has to be a connection.
I love it. I love your theories. I love where you're driving with it. I do. And
Okay.
I'm going to reserve thought for now.
Okay. Cool.
So the next thing we would have to talk about are some of these just phenomenally freaky cases. And I've selected 9 of my favorite, and I hate to say favorite cases because they're tragic.
I'm sorry. I know it's tragic, but it's just fucking cool for me.
Yeah. Now, remember, they're literally thousands of missing person cases, and a shit ton of them fall under the criteria that David Paulides establishes, the strange ones. We don't even have time to scratch the surface. Again, listeners, check out the show notes for links to this information. And these terrifying cases I'm going to cover on the next episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast.
You're such a fuck.
Now, listeners...
No, everyone. Nah, y'all can hate him. If we all have lettuce here, you just throw it on boo, paper balls. He's such a fuck.
Spitballs.
Yep.
But, you know, if listeners want to hear it sooner, they could hear it a week sooner if they join our Patreon.
What?
Patreon.com/Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast. And believe me, you don't want to wait for this.
Do I have to pay too? Oh, wait, no, I'm recording it. Ah, sweet.
Oscar, take us home. I love that I have your full attention right now.
You do. You have my full attention. I'm about to tell you something very important about the show.
Okay, tell me.
And that is never to take it so quite literally like that. Meaning that this show, okay, this is just a character study. It's meandering. The show doesn't have a plot other than exploring the 60s. That's all it's doing. The entire show is literally the decade of from 61, whatever it is, to 69. That's it. The creator wanted to do that in the person of this Don Draper character, and he's reprehensible in many ways. But what's her name again?
I forgot his wife's name.
January Jones. I know that's her real name. She is a piece of work. She is one of I did a top 5 worst mothers in television. She made my number 2 or number 1.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I mean, so far she doesn't seem.
No,
bad.
You really missed it. I mean, her shining moments, so to speak, of defending her quote-unquote kids from something innocent, was when she shot the doves.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, pull out the shotgun.
It's really a big, gigantic. She never gets beyond that point as far as she never meets that again. Till the end, of course, which is not.
So does it actually end, or is it still going?
It ends.
It does end.
It has an ending.
Because it's like 7 seasons or something like that.
Yes, it is.
I'm way behind. But yeah, I started watching it.
It's good. I mean,
They like Manhattans, and they like their whiskey, and they like their cigarettes.
They like their cigarettes.
They like their women.
They do. They do like their women.
But, yes. So I'm going to take a drink of my Manhattan right now. So good. Lexi is playing Sims.
I am playing
How those Sims doing, girl?
They're doing great.
Vampire Sims.
Yeah.
Cheating Sims.
Yep.
Marijuana growing Sims. Bless you, Oscar.
I wish. Bless you.
What kind of Sims were you saying? I think you.
Vampires, cheating Sims, marijuana growing Sims.
Marijuana growing.
Yes.
In Sims 4, they can smoke bombs.
And
Ripping
grow.
bongs.
And grow the marijuana.
Oh, they can grow too.
Look what they did to PewDiePie.
Oh, yeah.
How do you say it, Lexi?
I can't do it. PewDiePie. Kind of like that, but not squeaky.
That is oh my God.
I can go higher than that.
That was
Please
Oscar,
don't.
not Lexi.
I can wake up your kids right now.
PewDiePie.
Don't. The Oscars was better.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I meow like a cat at work sometimes in the back
It's
of
annoying.
in the back of room. I just go
What do you do that for?
because like I feel like I need to work my vocal cords sometimes. Like they need to do something, and they need to do something high pitched. So I would just do a cat sounds,
It's
and
just-
people think we have cats. Then
It's just an urge that comes over you.
yeah,
It's weird.
I have to do it.
It's kind of cool, though.
Usually at work.
It's
though.
weird.
It is weird.
Have you met me, bitch?
Yeah, I've been dating
Whoa.
you for a while.
Whoa.
What were we talking about before the meowing?
North Carolina.
Don Draper, North Carolina.
No, not that. It's too far back. The trip, the attached to the hip. Right. Give me an example of what's annoying about that.
Like we're out trying to record or do an interview, and you guys are like all over each other.
Oh no, that won't happen. I'll be profesh.
Okay, then good.
Are we
No
all
problem.
over each other right now?
No, but it's because you're engrossed in your Sims game.
Who says I won't be over there?
Well, that could work. Give her a tablet. We could do our own thing.
Jesus, why even come at all? You just stay, save me some money.
Exactly. Katie's like, oh, I can't go on the trip. Oh, darn.
Oh, shucks.
Extra $1,000 in my pocket.
Oh, shucks, howdy.
Oh, shucks, howdy.
People don't say that still.
Facebook at Chicago Ghost Podcast. Twitter and Instagram at Chicago Ghosts. Supernatural Occurrence Studies on YouTube.
Why do you sound that way?
Can I hit your vape?
And a shout out to Maria Zlata.
You have your own vape.
Our
I know,
YouTube
but it
girl.
doesn't taste like Apple Jacks.
Our YouTube girl. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, girl.
You don't have to keep indulging her. Just want to know.
Well, she always comments, so I want to throw her shout outs.
She always comments on what? You comment on YouTube videos?
Not me. No.
Lexi? No, Maria Zlata.
What does that have to do with giving her the vape?
Nothing.
We're not on the same plane here.
We're not.
We're not on the same page right now. Okay.
It's so pretty. There's this blue outline.
I know. It's my RoboCop. I call it my RoboCop.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine that coming out of your thigh holster thing.
Who is RoboCop? Peter Weller, right?
Peter Weller, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the Bakuru Banzai, right?
Fuck should I know?
You never heard of Bakuru Banzai?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
You never seen it?
No.
I mean, well, you were like, what?
I'm not 65.
Can you blow O's?
35 when that movie came out.
60.
Can you blow O's?
I can't.
Really? All you vape? You don't even try?
Yeah, I just vape because I need the nicotine. I have a problem.
Yeah, we all do.
Oh, she's doing it. Look at you.
Yeah, I can do it too. Although I can't. Yours is really powerful.
Oh,
though.
my God. They're
Yeah.
perfect O's Lexi did.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You want to try?
I can do it too. No, I can't do it with this thing because it's too hard on me. It's too heavy.
You smoke like Marlboro Reds.
No, I don't smoke Reds anymore. What the
What
fuck?
do you smoke?
American Spirit.
I
Do
can
you
also
really?
do the
Those fuckers are
French
expensive.
inhale.
Yeah,
Oh, up the nose? Yeah. It's hard with the vape. It's easier with cigarettes.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
I can do it. Yeah, that's easy. But that I can
She
do with
did. She
cigarettes.
cranked out like 12
Sometimes
fucking...
I can do O's with my nose.
What?
But that I can't do.
That's crazy.
She's lying. Man.
I can't do it.
She's just fucking embellishing.
She's coming close.
No, don't.
A couple of them were close.
Yeah.
This is too much. I think I could do it with my vape though. Because I do
That's
it.
cool.
Next time she's gonna say she's gonna do
pretty
the Gandalf
interesting.
ship. Remember in the Lord of the Rings?
No.
Remember when he smokes that weed, and Bilbo makes a big perfect roll with the smoke.
Oh,
And then he
yeah.
does like a whole magical ship of smoke, and it goes through the O.
That's right.
That's her next time. She's like, I can make a big magical ship.
Is that
Okay,
the
I can't do it
Titanic?
right now. but-
Titanic? No, hey, I mean, for a hot minute, I was really into it too, and then my dungeon master moved to New Jersey. Bastard.
Of all places. Shit. No, I don't know. Say it.
Yeah, he left, so...
Oh, Sean, right?
Yeah, Sean. And then no one took up the mantle. I
Do
don't
you still talk to Sean?
Why don't you take up the mantle?
Very, very vaguely. And honey, I played like 3 times. He played like 1,000 times before he became DM. He knows way better.
But you're like,
At most, I'll be like
good at
a
being
glimpse of a version.
dominating.
Yes. Are you trying to? Did you hear that, Jay?
Dominating?
Yeah, he heard it.
I heard it. I hear everything. I just choose to respond or not.
So before, when you were not in the same page as I was, when
I
was
didn't hear anything about it.
Right, convenient suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. Oh no, what was that? Let's freak out.
Beer just,
Freak out.
as long as beer don't spill on your
Oh yeah.
your interface.
Sorry, I didn't know that was there.
I went and got myself a beer.
Oh, that was outside.
Outside?
I mean, outside.
Shh,
While
we're
you were
okay.
outside. Yeah, I went upstairs,
Okay.
got a beer.
Yeah, we were talking about my pregnancy.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure it out, Oscar.
I mean, it's pretty easy. You ask a question, yes or no. That's it.
You would think. She's like, I don't know.
I mean, I haven't taken a test, and he said that his mom and Katie both were pregnant when they were on birth control.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But they were the pill. She
I mean-
said she has the shot.
a little
Yes.
needle through the condom wrap. That's all Jay does. He just puts the needle in everything.
Oh, no, dude, I bear back that shit.
Oh, me too. I hear you.
Yeah. Don't talk like that. My mom might be listening.
About how her grandchildren were created.
That's right.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Is that the problem?
You're
well,
kicking my foot.
It's kind of too late for that. Is that your foot?
Oscar,
Yeah.
how do our levels sound good?
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, people expect this, and this is what they're getting.
Expect what?
Expect this level of volume.
Volume.
No, it's good. It's high and nice. And
It is
it's
good.
good.
I'm going to have to try those nozos again. I really want to do those.
Don't ever say nozos again.
It took me a second there. I thought it was some sort of cereal I didn't know about. Honey, Mama, let me get some nozos.
Mama, give me the milk and cookies. Oh, yeah, it's so good in my mouth. The regurgitation.
I'm about to feed a bird. That's how good it came out.
Masticate my food. Masticate it.
That's a fucked up word, man.
That is an ugly word.
Sounds like something they say in the news when they find a killing. Like he was masticated to death.
Ugh.
Right?
Ugh.
Think about it. His arm was half masticated. Masticated? Jesus, now it's hard to say.
All right, when do you want to... What do you think?
Oh, yeah, let's start now. Why not? 5, 4, 3,
Welcome
2.